Hey everyone, I'm Matt Dolan with Dolan Divorce Lawyers in Connecticut, and today I'm going to talk about discovery objections. So let me share my screen and show you the relevant statute. So it is 13-10 that deals with responses to requests for production and objections. So it basically says that the party to whom the request is directed, you have to provide a response to a discovery request within 60 days. Unless, and then there's a certain number of things in which you don't have to produce the documents within 60 days. And one of those circumstances is subsection 3, where you don't have to provide the documents within 60 days if objections to the request for production and the reasons therefore are filed and served within the 60-day period. And down in subsection D, it says objections by a party to certain parts of a request shall not relieve that party of the obligation to respond to those portions of which that party has not objected within the 60-day period. So if you object to certain parts of a request, you still have to provide documents for the portion of the request, the individual request that you did not object to. And it says a party objecting to one or more of the requests for production shall file an objection in accordance with subsection F of this section. And subsection F says that a party who objects to any request or portion of a request shall, 1, set forth the request objected to, 2, specifically state the reasons for the objection, and 3, state whether any responsive materials are being withheld on the basis of the stated objection. So that's the relevant statute. So let me show you a sample. So this is just some standard language, and you're saying that you object to the discovery request dated, insert the date of the request. And then what you're going to do is for each request you're objecting to, you put the request number. And then after that, you type out the actual content of the request, and then you state your objection. So this is kind of the most broad. You can tailor this however you want. But this says that the plaintiff objects to this request on the grounds that it is overly broad as to the time and scope of the documents that they're requesting. It's unduly burdensome and oppressive, not reasonably calculated to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence, intended to harass, request documents not within the plaintiff's access or control, and request documents within the defendant's access and control. So, those are kind of some broad bases for objections. You can tailor that however you want. You can use portions of this broad objection based on your particular situation, or you may have some other basis for an objection. So you would type the objection, and then, you can list as many objections as you want. So you would just do, request if the first one was request number 2, you can just put right after that request number 4 and put the basis for the objection, and so on and so on. And then, you just put the regular certification. So that is what the objection would actually look like. That's a sample, and that's kind of the basics on filing discovery objections.